Your reaction to what Jon Gruden said, and I suppose the idea he's saying he hopes he gets another shot, the idea that someday he might get another chance in the NFL.
Well, the thing that stood out to me was the real lack of contrition. It was, hey, I'm sorry about what came about, but I go to church. So, and I've been married a long time. So you guys off the bat know that I'm a good person, and everybody makes mistakes. That rubbed me the wrong way because the apology didn't seem sincere. That said, it was over 500 million emails that were almost like 500,000 emails that were released, and only his emails that he sent were released. I always wanted to know what more was said out there, and I thought that part was unfair. But at the end of the day, this is language used by him, and if you're the NFL, I don't know how you make that okay. His entrance back into the NFL. Racist, anti-gay, like I just don't know how you do it. More than that, though, his competency as a football coach, like that to me, when he got the job, he was talking about, I want to take this team back to like the 50s when we're running the ball. Like, you have a report recently where he could have gotten Tom Brady and Gronk, and he said no. It's like questions about, has the game passed him by? Is he still a good coach? Retreads, like I think there's the Jon Gruden football coach. Is it worth it to give him another shot? You can make a case. Not really. The game has moved on, and there are a lot of other minds that deserve that job more than him. And then obviously this stuff.
Booger, you played for him in Tampa. You won a Super Bowl with him as your head coach in Tampa. What was your reaction to what he said?
Yeah, I think you can tell after about a year that he's kind of ready to get out and face the music. And, I've never been one to really judge people's apology because I think certain people are comfortable saying certain things and trying to put it in certain terms and context, and who are we to judge it? I try to take him and say, you know what? He got in front of a microphone, even though it was a limited crowd, and tried in his way to own what he said. It may be good for some, it may not be good for others. And here's what I'll say. I do not think he'll ever work in the NFL again. I do think, though, there's a way if he wants to be involved in football, I think he can. I think we live in a country that if you just go back over the last 20, 30 years, there are some people that have said and done some outlandish things. And those people are back in the public light and doing pretty well. I think the NFL boat has probably sailed, but I do think Jon Gruden can be a productive member of football society in some form if he chooses to, because as time moves on, evidence has shown us that this country will forgive and move on, even though some of us may not be able to do it right today.
Yeah, there's a difference between forgiveness and forgetting,
right.
And maybe though the line between those two would be a place that he can find a way back in. We'll have to wait and see. Rob Ninkovich, what was your reaction?
Yeah, listen, we all make mistakes, and I do believe in forgiveness. I would say this, when me and my wife have ever been in an argument and I try to apologize for it, she never accepts the word "but" after the apology, because that's something that she's always said. If I'm apologizing for something, don't follow it with "but," because then it's trying to justify or make it less of a big deal. So whenever I am in an issue, I try to never say "but." So that's the one thing that in that what he was doing, I don't like the "but." I just don't like the "but." So again, I do believe that we all make mistakes and there is time for forgiveness, and that apology just seemed a little bit less sincere.
Yeah, I think that was one of the problems. I agree with Booger. Not everyone is comfortable, and that is, by its nature, an uncomfortable moment. But when you follow the words "I'm sorry" with "but," and you say "but" more loudly than you said any of the previous words,
right.
And you also don't need to be the one who says lots of people make mistakes or we all make mistakes. We get that. We all know we all make mistakes. The first time you come out and say you're sorry, I think the best way to do it is to say, my words were shameful and I ask your forgiveness. He said those words. He said a lot of other words that I think will make a lot of people miss the words that he really needed to say first and foremost. I have no idea if he will get another opportunity in the NFL. My overwhelming guess would be that he will not. We'll wait and see. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.